What's up, guys? Today we are upgrading my friend James's S2000 to Ohlins. These are out of the box Ohlins DFV with shelf spring rates, 10K front, 8K rear. So right now what he's got is, he said CR shocks, right?
CR shocks with Swift springs.
Swift spring. But we don't know the spring rates of the Swift springs. But it's probably labeled on there once we take it off. Do you need a breaker bar?
Okay, I'm gonna need your long breaker.
You're gonna need my longer bar? That's what I thought. That's what they all say. That's not working. And you said this would be easy. Nothing's ever easy when it comes to working on your own car.
Ooh, you got it, dude.
Alright, nice. So what is the goal of you getting Ohlins? Let's talk about this. Because I'm sure a lot of S2000 owners are like, ooh, Ohlins? Heard they're good. But is it really worth the $2,000+ plus?
My true goal?
Your true goal?
Is build the car up so that Zygrene likes it and eventually sell it to him.
That's funny. That's really funny. Why would I buy this car when I have that beauty over there? Right?
Because you don't drive that one.
What are you talking about? I drive my Porsche every single day.
Oh, is that what you pointed it at?
Oh yeah. NSX is not even a car. It's my wife. What's going on over here?
I think I might get the Firehawk, whatever.
Polishing some headlights.
Fenton, can you align
Line
the...
up the top. Alright, just hold it there.
Okay.
Hold it there. Just gonna go ahead and turn this to max stiff. Just kidding.
Max did. No.
What are you done? Is that really necessary? It's ricers on my street. Look at this guy. King Ricer himself. Master detailer over here. Shout out to Dave. 219 Auto Parts on Instagram. He's got the hookup for all suspension, wheels, tires in NorCal between Sacramento and Bay Area. We've got you covered. This guy over here only charges $300 an hour to polish your headlights. Oh, 700? Oh, that's pretty cheap still. 3 Hondas and 1 Porsche. Here's the part number for the CR rear shock, in case you guys are curious. This is the car I drove in like multiple videos that I commented was super tail happy. And I think it's because the suspension and the square tire setup on the Federals. But I'm trying to figure out what the spring rate of these Swift springs is. I'm just curious, because I've never driven an S2000 that's so tail happy before. Putting these rotors back on, looking pretty good. Rotors. Both rear Ohlins are on. You have to remove the fuel filler to access the top mount for that one. This one is pretty easy, it's just right there. About to lower the car and see how it sits. These Ohlins are set to 10 mil preload on the springs, which is the recommended setting. Yeah, we'll see how low it gets without the special lowering cups.
Now, if you look at it here, like you can see the reflection more clearly.
Let's see it. Let's see it. It'll take some time for the spring to to settle anyway. Yeah, it's still pretty high. All right, we're gonna fix this monster truck ride height. Lower one basically locks it into place. So you gotta loosen that one first, and then you should be able to turn the top one, right?
Yeah, I think you turn this down. Maybe I should have measured how much I'm turning it.
You probably should have. Too late now. Only the hood and front fenders are gonna look good now. The rest of the car,
Oh no, it's not looking
total.
too good right now.
I'll put it on your future car.
it's my future car? That's funny. All right, the Ohlins are now max low. So let's see what it looks like. It's definitely a little lower.
That's max low?
It's like 1 finger lower.
It's barely
2
higher
finger.
than it'll settle. Yeah, it's barely higher than when I had my this
CR?
max low.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't turn anymore, so.
Yeah. You can technically go lower by releasing preload. That's max low for the preload I put on.
So more preload means taller or lower? We're really good mechanics. You're gonna tell my YouTube fans?
That you love Miata's.
I mean, this car, I would for sure trade it for Miata. Look at this paint. Absolutely unacceptable. And there's a dent right there. It's like you don't even care about your car.
This guy's out of control right now.
Who's out of control? You're the one who's totaling your S2000. And you put Rotas on it? That's just disgraceful. Totally abandoned vehicle. Neglected. Not good, James. Not good. You are absolutely struggling with that.
I need a bigger wrench.
Dude, I work out. It's okay. Okay, that's not coming off.
Boom!
Leverage.
Holy shit, look at all these spider webs up in
I'm
here.
saying, your car's so neglected. If you ever post this on Bring a Trailer, I'm gonna upload this picture to your thing.
Yeah, you can show the before and after.
This is the after. Unleash your inner
Probably
VTEC.
gonna jam my hand straight into the floor.
Oh yeah, guaranteed. And I'll be here to film every bit of it.
Oh my
I
goodness.
think your problem is that you're not wearing eye protection.
We just need Benton's weight.
Step aside. All 350 pounds of muscle. Oh, that's working.
What are you trying to do?
This bolt is absolutely seized on here.
All the bolts are like so.
All right, June, use your 690 pounds.
Choose me for sure, but punch the ground as hard as you can because he's gonna get this loose.
Are you kidding me?
Dude, how heavy are you?
What were you even doing?
on there?
I'm gonna throw your Chipotle
Wait,
away.
did you make it loose?
You can't eat anymore.
No,
Oh, did it just
broke loose? I think
Oh, it broke loose?
I think the thing just came off.
All right, let me try. Get out. It's going. No, get out. What kind of clown shit is this?
Whew. Are we using a 12 point on a 6 point?
I don't know if it's.
Dude, this is a 12 point socket.
It's fine.
It's fine. This is what happens when you park outside Zygrene's house for a few hours. Your perfect paint gets absolutely destroyed. This is absolutely unacceptable. Look at that. It's Charlotte right there. The things I do for this guy. It's not worth my friendship. This has been living in your shock for like... Oh, God. Okay, it's not living anymore.
What in the
That is unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. I'm gonna lower both sides and take a look at it again.
Oh, for sure.
Oh
it's
my
slammed off.
God. Oh no, that's slammed.
Your fender's gonna go bye.
What's the specs on the wheel? 17 by 9.5 plus
70 by 10,
49.
49.
Oh, by 10 plus 49. I would have pulled fenders if I was going to run this fitment. This is top-notch mechanic work right here. Alrighty, it's finally at a reasonable height. So it turns out for Ohlins out of the box for S2000, you want to lower the rears as much as it'll go, which is basically less than a 2-finger gap. And then the front is whatever Ohlins recommended spec is, which is like what, 104 millimeters or something?
Yeah, between the two,
Between the locking
pretty
nut.
much the thread area.
Yeah. Just basically look up the Ohlins S2000 manual and it'll tell you. All right, so the Ohlins are on, the car is aligned. It's on the same set of tires as before, the Federal 595 RSRR. The alignment setting is basically the same. It might have like an extra 0.2 degrees of negative camber all around. Shouldn't make a difference. This is probably the first time I've done a true apples to apples comparison before and after. And apologies in advance for the crappy audio. My audio recorder decided to take a crap on me, so I'm using GoPro audio. So I've spent the last 3 days with the car now, done a lot of street driving. We're about to take it on the first aggressive canyon drive. And I can honestly say, from a pure comfort perspective, these Ohlins are a huge step up. The ride height is set maybe just a tad, like maybe 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch lower. And these are one-way adjustable shocks. So the compression and rebound right now are set to a middle setting front and rear. Okay, so before we start pushing it, I just wanted to stop so I can actually get you guys to hear me. On the street, the suspension is so much more compliant. It's still very communicative, like you still feel every single bump. It's not like it just completely isolates the driver from what's happening on the road. The big difference I can tell you right now is that when going over high speed bumps, like on the freeway, 65 miles per hour and above, instead of the rear end of this car taking a couple or more compression and rebound cycles to set, it really just does it in one smooth motion now. So going over a bump, it used to be pogo stick once, twice in the back, and then it would set. Now it really just does it once and then you're settled. And the Ohlins have a spring rate of 10 kilograms up front, 8 kilograms in the back. So the spring rates are quite a bit higher than the previous setup, and yet they're a lot more compliant. So it really just goes to show the quality of these Ohlins dampers. But with the CR suspension and the Swift springs, you actually get a lot of turn-in oversteer, which is fun, but it's not really the fastest way to go through a corner. Part of that could be these Federal tires. They're a little bit worn out, but we're gonna test it obviously with the same exact setup with tires, basically same alignment. Only change, again, is the Ohlins suspension. So let's see how it feels now. Twitchiness is gone. It's just so planted now. Look at that. No oversteer. Wow. I can tell you the suspension feels miles better than the CR setup. Everything just feels so well controlled because you still feel the surface of the road, but you're not getting any extra noise from the harshness of that old setup. I've tried S2000s with plenty of different suspension setups, BC coilovers, KWV3s, obviously stock AP1, AP2, CR with Swift springs, Ohlins, custom Ohlins, revalved, JRZs. Out of everything, I can say, honestly speaking, from a pure comfort perspective, for a pure street-driven S2000, Ohlins is probably still the best I've tried, even compared to JRZ. I think JRZs, yes, they are definitely a higher quality damper, and they will be faster on the track than Ohlins, but with JRZs, you just do get a higher spring rate. At least the car that I tried that had JRZs, I think with 13K, 11K springs, it was definitely harsher on the street than this. The DFV is designed to be a road and track coilover. It's designed to be compliant as well as better than stock on track, but there is a level of compromise there. Honestly, I was a little skeptical going into this. I didn't think the main cause for that twitchy rear end previously was the suspension. I actually thought it was more so the tires. These Federals are known to get a little bit greasy with some heat. This particular set is probably down to its last like 20% of life, but now I realize it really was the previous suspension setup that was causing that turn and oversteer. I think part of that has to do with the fact that the front and rear spring rates were basically the same. So it had a square spring rate and a square tire setup, 255s all around. And a lot of people say that the Ohlins DFV for S2000 is not good out of the box. One reason is that when you adjust the rear ride height, it won't actually go low enough for some people's liking. The other complaint with out-of-the-box Ohlins for S2000 is that you actually bottom out the rear suspension over bumps because apparently there's not enough suspension travel. Out here in the canyons, I don't feel that whatsoever. I think it feels perfect. And if you're not planning on doing any track driving, I really don't see why you would get anything more than the out-of-the-box Ohlins. I don't think it's worth it to go higher spring rates, revalve, custom lowering cups, custom top hats. None of that is really necessary if you're building a street/canyon only S2000. So take that as you will. This is purely my opinion. If you're going with a pure street setup, just get out of the box Ohlins. They know what they're doing. They've been making really high quality dampers for a very long time, and I'm sure they tested it on this car before they released it to the public. Shout out to my buddy Dave at 219 Auto Parts. He actually hooked my friend James up, the owner of this car, with Ohlins at a pretty good discount, and he can get discount on basically any aftermarket parts you can think of. So hit him up on Instagram. I'll provide his email in the video description. Great guy, great to work with, very responsive. So with that said, I'm going to enjoy this car for another day or two, swap it back for my 911, which by the way guys, my car is finally ready for the track. No more misfires. I haven't done an update video on that, but yeah, no more misfires. I had the cooling system overhauled. All I need to do is throw some brake pads, brake fluid flush, and yeah, then it's ready to go. So thanks guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.